meeting, I voted no to move to April. I was in another district beforehand, and we went through that quite a few times, and it's not a pretty thing to happen to your district. But I happened to do some research into that. My son's mentor and teacher at Seton Hall was a former superintendent. So I called him, and this is what he said to me. Big mistake to move the election to April, especially with your referendum going down recently. You can, pardon me, I'm not too good with my phone. You can bank cap, the 2% cap is a soft cap. You can bank cap for 3 years if you didn't go to cap in the 3-year period. Additional areas, there are waivers for special ed, enrollment growth, and let me go to the next page, and I believe healthcare costs. You also could save money by using your food service as an enterprise account and deduct at least 15% of your utilities from your budget. And that's the answer he gave me. I also called Dr. Timothy Purnell, the Executive Director and Human Resources Director of NJSBA, and he sent me, I'll read it really quick. One thing he mentioned last night on the phone to me was that, in April you have to put up 2 questions. One would be the 2% cap, 2 would be what would be over the 2% cap. So that still could be voted down. And you're back to square one with $100,000 out for the election and knocking item number 2 down in the election, and then you're going back to take out more. And what he said to me was, on or before May 19th, or the commissioner established date established if the April school election date is changed pursuant to NJ, these in the governing body, shall certify to the County Board of Taxation an amount not less than the required local share established pursuant to NJSA. For this purpose, pursuant to NJSA, copies of the certification shall be forwarded to the District Board of Ed and Executive County Superintendent. The governing body does not have the authority to certify a reduction in the general fund tax levy or debt service fund tax levy. The general fund tax levy certification in the form of a resolution shall be for the base budget amount plus any additional amounts approved by the voters through separate questions. Next, the explanation he gave me. The governing body may include in the resolution a list of recommended line item reallocations for District Board of Education consideration. If the amount certified for the base budget is less than the required local share, the certification shall be considered a failure in accordance to NJAC 6A 23A-98. And it was important, he said, under state rules, a defeated school budget is subject to review by the district's governing body, which can approve the budget as is or order spending cuts, which we all know. The spending plan will now be passed back to the school board, which can accept the cut or appeal to the State Education Commissioner, which we've all talked about. Council members were required to identify specific areas, so they can identify areas that they think were top-heavy in our budget, but it's up to us. They'll give us a certain amount of $200,000 and say, you cut where it won't hurt education. And I mean, there's a lot more on here. I don't want to take up anybody else's time, but he listed 5 other items why not to have your election in April.
Thank you. Anybody